The stars stretched endlessly around Commander Alex Mercer as the Odyssey cruised through the Zalorian system. He had seen many strange worlds in his career, but nothing quite prepared him for this. Zaloria was a jewel in the galaxy. A planet of violet skies, shimmering oceans, and towers that seemed to float above the ground. From space, it looked like a world built by artists and engineers who had no limits. Alex adjusted his uniform, the weight of his responsibilities pressing down on him. He was Earth's chosen ambassador, sent to meet the alien queen, Zyra, for the first time. The Zalorians had a reputation for being cold, logical, and unyielding. Wars had been avoided for centuries through caution and diplomacy. And now it was up to Alex to represent humanity. The Odyssey landed gently in the central docking bay, a spaceport larger than some cities on Earth. Zalorian ships moved silently around it, sleek and glowing faintly with energy fields. The airlock hissed, and Alex stepped out, greeted immediately by his guides, tall, lithe aliens with shimmering skin in shades of silver and lavender. Their faces were sharp, but their eyes carried intelligence and curiosity. "Commander Mercer," one of the guides said in flawless English. "I am Lysar. I will escort you to the palace. The Queen is aware of your arrival. Cruz. Intelligenter. Commander Mercer. Commander Mercer. Commander Mercer. Commander Mercer. Commander Mercer." Alex nodded, offering a polite smile. "Thank you, Lysar. I hope she finds our visit interesting." Lysar raised an eyebrow, which Alex quickly realized was a subtle Zalorian expression of mild amusement. "Interesting is not a word often used in our halls," Lysar replied. "You may find that she prefers precise terms. Prepare yourself." Alex followed Lysar through corridors of polished crystal and walls that pulsed faintly with energy. The palace was immense, each hall larger than the last, decorated with holographic displays of Zalorian history, battles, discoveries, and ceremonial events. Everywhere he looked, Alex felt both awe and anxiety. Finally, they reached the throne room. It was unlike anything Alex had ever seen. The ceiling seemed to stretch into infinity, and the floor reflected the soft light in a way that made it look like they were walking on water. At the far end, the alien queen sat on a throne of transparent crystal, her posture perfect and commanding. Her skin shimmered in deep shades of violet and silver, and her eyes glowed faintly with intelligence. Zyra's presence was overwhelming. She did not rise as Alex entered, but her gaze swept over him, sharp and calculating. Alex felt as if she were weighing every thought he had, every possible intention, every heartbeat. "Commander Mercer," she said finally, her voice smooth, melodic, and echoing slightly in the vast room. "You come from a species that is young, noisy, and unpredictable. Tell me, why should I grant you an audience in the first place?" Alex swallowed. This was the moment diplomacy became a test of courage. "Your Majesty, I come in peace, representing humanity. We seek friendship, understanding, and cooperation. We do not wish for conflict, but hope to learn from each other." Zyra's eyes narrowed slightly. "Many have spoken these words. Few have meant them. Your species has fought wars across your own planet. Why should I trust you now?" "Anything." Alex felt a flicker of nerves but also determination. "Because, Your Majesty, humans are capable of more than war. We are capable of hope, creativity, and loyalty. And sometimes, humor. Sometimes we even surprise ourselves with how far we can go when we work together." There was a long silence. The courtiers behind Zyra exchanged glances, clearly unsure how to react. The queen's face remained stern, but her eyes hinted at curiosity, a dangerous, unreadable curiosity. Trying to lighten the tension, Alex added, with a faint smile, "And, if I may, Your Majesty, you have a remarkable sense of posture. truly commanding. It even makes your, uh, presence in the throne room very noticeable. The room froze. Not a single Zalorian moved. Alex realized, almost too late, that he had made a comment no human had ever dared to make. He had complimented the queen's physique. Zyra froze completely. Her face showed a mix of shock, confusion, and something else Alex could not identify. Her advisors stiffened, whispering rapidly in a language Alex could not understand. Even Lissar seemed tense, unsure how this breach of protocol would play out. "You said... what?" Zyra's voice was low but carried power. It reverberated across the hall, silencing all other sound. Alex's heart raced. He had expected scolding, anger, perhaps even hostility. But he did not back down. I meant it as respect, Your Majesty. I meant no offense. I just wanted to acknowledge the presence you command. You are impressive." Another silence fell. This one lasted longer than any Alex had ever experienced. It was as if the entire room was holding its collective breath. Then, just as he thought he had gone too far, Zyra's lips curved slightly. A small, almost imperceptible movement, but enough to catch him off guard. A smile. It was the first time anyone in history had seen Zyra smile. The courtiers gasped softly, some covering their mouths. Alex felt a strange mixture of relief and wonder. He had survived the unthinkable. He had made the queen smile. "Interesting," Zyra said finally, her tone softer than before. "You surprise me, Earthling. Your species is reckless, yet bold. Perhaps there is merit in speaking plainly." Alex nodded, careful not to overstep. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I promise. My intentions are genuine. I wish only to build understanding between our worlds." The queen leaned back slightly, still observing him. "Many species have tried to impress me with flattery, wit, or power. Few have done so with honesty. You may remain for now. But you must understand, this is only the beginning. Trust must be earned. I understand, Your Majesty, and I will do everything I can to earn it." The rest of the audience passed in a blur of introductions, questions, and explanations. Alex answered carefully, demonstrating human ingenuity, resilience, and problem-solving. He explained Earth's culture, science, and history, highlighting humanity's ability to adapt and thrive in difficult circumstances. Zyra listened quietly, occasionally interjecting with sharp, insightful questions. Alex noted how quickly she grasped complex concepts, how her curiosity was boundless, and how her attention to detail was unmatched. It became clear that winning her respect required more than courage. It required intellect, sincerity, and creativity. By the time the audience ended, Alex felt exhausted but strangely exhilarated. The queen had not dismissed him. She had smiled. She had noticed. As he was escorted back to the Odyssey, Lysar finally spoke in a tone that suggested amusement rather than reprimand. "Commander Mercer, you are unusual. Few have dared to speak so freely in her presence. Most fail within minutes." Alex smiled wryly. "I suppose humans are sometimes unpredictable." "One," Lysar tilted his head, considering him. "Yes. Perhaps that is what intrigues her. Perhaps that is what makes your species worth observing." The commander leaned against the shuttle walls, staring out at the violet horizon. Zaloria was more beautiful than he had imagined, and the alien queen more formidable. Yet, somewhere in the depths of her stern gaze, there was now a spark, a recognition of humanity's courage and spirit. And Alex knew that if he could keep that spark alive, it could change everything, not just for him, but for all of Earth. The stars twinkled above, infinite and patient, as the first steps of an interstellar friendship were taken. Somewhere in the palace, Zyra replayed his words in her mind. She had never smiled before. But now, she wondered why. And for the first time, she felt something she had never experienced. Curiosity about humans. The palace of Zaloria was quiet the next morning. Yet Commander Alex Mercer felt the tension in the air as he prepared for his second audience with Queen Zyra. The first meeting had been unusual. His accidental compliment had frozen the queen in her seat. And then, astonishingly, she had smiled. That moment had changed everything. Lisar, his guide, arrived promptly to escort him through the palace. Unlike yesterday, Lisar's expression carried a hint of amusement rather than the usual strict formality. "Commander Mercer," he said, "I must admit, you continue to surprise me. Few humans could remain so calm after provoking the queen." Alex shrugged. "I suppose I just speak what I feel. It's risky, but sometimes honesty works better than caution." Lisar nodded. "We shall see if honesty can continue to work." They walked through halls filled with soft, violet light. Holographic images displayed the history of Zaloria, showing their victories, inventions, and ceremonies. Alex noticed that the images shifted when he looked at them, as if the palace itself was curious about him. He smiled to himself. If humans could find ways to impress, perhaps even a palace could recognize effort. Finally, they reached the throne room again. Queen Zyra sat in her crystal throne, the morning light catching the shimmering patterns of her skin. She did not rise this time, but her eyes were sharp, examining Alex with focused interest. "Commander Mercer," she said, her voice calm, but still holding authority. "Yesterday was unexpected. I find your behavior unusual. Few visitors attempt humor or honesty in my presence. Explain yourself." Alex took a steadying breath. "Your Majesty, I believe that true understanding begins with honesty. Humor, when used respectfully, can help bridge differences. Humans, we are imperfect, but we are sincere. I hope that sincerity can be a start of something meaningful between our worlds." Zyra's gaze softened slightly, though it remained sharp. "You speak boldly for one so young. Boldness can be dangerous. And yet, there is a spark in you I do not often see. Very well. Speak freely, Earthling. Show me your sincerity." Alex nodded. He had expected caution, but he had not expected an invitation to be fully himself. This was a rare opportunity. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I will do my best." The audience began with discussions of science and culture. Alex explained the principles of Earth's technology, from renewable energy to artificial intelligence. Zyra asked questions that were precise and challenging, testing not just his knowledge but his reasoning. Alex answered carefully, showing not only human ingenuity, but also creativity in solving problems. At one point, a holographic display presented an image of a massive Zalorian energy grid that powered several cities. Alex noticed a flaw, a small inefficiency that humans might have overlooked. He spoke up. "Your Majesty, if I may suggest," Alex said respectfully, "there may be a way to improve efficiency by adjusting the energy flow at these nodes. It is a small change, but it could save a significant amount of energy over time." The court murmured. It was unusual for a visitor to point out such details in front of the queen. Zyra leaned forward slightly, examining the display. Her expression was unreadable. But after a moment, she nodded. "Interesting," she said. "Few have noticed this. Your species observes carefully, yet differently than ours. Tell me, Earthling, how do you see what others miss?" Alex smiled faintly. "We are curious. Sometimes too curious. Sometimes we fail, but we try to learn from mistakes. I suppose it is our nature to see things from many angles. even if it seems reckless to others. The queen's lips curved again, a small but noticeable smile. Curiosity. A dangerous trait, yet sometimes valuable. Perhaps your recklessness is intriguing. 8. 8. Ope. Encouraged by this response, Alex continued to share human stories of exploration, discovery, and teamwork. He spoke of astronauts landing on distant planets, engineers building massive structures, and scientists solving impossible problems. Zyra listened intently, occasionally interrupting with questions that revealed both skepticism and fascination. Hours passed, and the formal audience began to feel less like a test and more like a genuine conversation. Alex noticed small changes. Courtiers leaned in with interest. Advisors whispered less urgently, and the queen's usual stiffness softened, ever so slightly. At one point, Alex attempted another light-hearted comment, careful this time to respect the queen. "Your Majesty," he said, "I must admit, I have never met a ruler whose presence can both intimidate and inspire curiosity at the same time. It is impressive." Zyra froze briefly, and then, unexpectedly, a small smile spread across her face. The courtiers whispered in astonishment. For centuries, the queen's expressions had been unreadable, and now, she smiled again. Alex felt a mix of relief and wonder. The queen was responding to humanity in ways he had never imagined. It was more than diplomacy. It was connection. After the formal part of the meeting ended, Zyra asked Alex to remain. She wanted to speak with him alone. The other courtiers left, giving them privacy. "Commander Mercer," Zyra said softly, "you speak differently from others. Most are polite, careful, and empty. You are sincere. Yet I wonder, do you understand the weight of what you have done? Humor and curiosity may save or endanger your species." Alex nodded. "I understand, Your Majesty. I cannot predict the future, but I can promise that humanity's intentions are genuine. We seek friendship, not conflict. And sometimes, we express that in ways others may not expect." The queen studied him for a long moment. "Humans are strange. Your species is noisy, emotional, yet capable of courage and ingenuity. I have observed many species, but few inspire both respect and amusement. Perhaps you are not what I expected." Alex allowed himself a small smile. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I will continue to do my best to show humanity in a way that honors both our worlds." For the first time, Zyra leaned forward slightly in her throne, a gesture that seemed almost human in its subtlety. "Perhaps," she said quietly, "we may learn from each other. You have shown courage, intelligence, and honesty. Traits not always appreciated by my people, yet valuable nonetheless." Alex felt a warmth in his chest. This was more than diplomacy, this was the beginning of trust. Over the next few days, Alex was given access to parts of the palace and the city he had never seen before. He walked through laboratories, observing Zalorian technology in action. He marveled at energy systems far beyond human engineering, and at vehicles that moved with elegance and speed, guided by intelligence he could barely comprehend. Yet he noticed something else. While the Zalorians were brilliant, they lacked one quality humans possessed: adaptability under uncertainty. Where technology failed or rules were rigid, humans found creative solutions. Alex began to demonstrate this through small experiments, improvising solutions to simple problems in the laboratories. Zyra observed quietly from a distance. She saw the way Alex's mind worked, how he approached challenges without fear, how he considered alternatives, and how he inspired others to collaborate. Slowly, the queen's respect grew. Slowly, the wall of formality around her began to crack. One afternoon, while observing a test of energy transfer, Alex noticed a malfunction that could have destroyed the entire experiment. Without hesitation, he acted, adjusting controls in ways no Zalorian had considered. The experiment stabilized, saving the research. Zyra watched silently, her eyes reflecting approval. For the first time, she saw not just a human ambassador, but a symbol of humanity's potential. Later, she spoke to Alex privately. "You act with a combination of thought and instinct I find rare. You are reckless, yet precise, curious, yet respectful. Few species I have met could do this. Perhaps your kind has potential beyond what I imagined." Alex smiled humbly. "Thank you, Your Majesty. Humans may be imperfect, but we try. And sometimes, we learn quickly from those who are wiser than us." The Queen's lips curved again, another small, genuine smile. "You have given me much to consider, Earthling. Perhaps your species is worth observing more closely." As Alex left the palace that day, he felt a new sense of purpose. Zaloria was no longer just a mission. It was an opportunity to show that humans, with courage, intelligence, and sincerity, could earn the respect of even the most powerful beings in the galaxy. Outside, the violet skies of Zaloria stretched endlessly, a reminder that the universe was vast, full of unknowns, yet full of possibilities. Alex knew that the journey had only begun, and somewhere within the palace, Queen Zyra reflected on her encounters with the human. For the first time in her long life, she found herself curious not just about his words, but about his people, and what they could achieve. Humanity had sparked something new, a connection that might change the course of history. The ice had begun to break, the Queen had smiled again, and Alex Mercer knew that this was the first step toward building trust, friendship, and perhaps even something extraordinary. The calm of Zaloria was shattered one morning by urgent news. The palace alarms rang faintly, a deep, resonant hum that echoed through the halls. Commander Alex Mercer, still staying within the palace, was quickly summoned to the throne room. Queen Zyra sat rigidly in her crystal throne, her face sharper than ever. Her advisors and generals moved quickly around her, their usual composure replaced with tension. "Commander Mercer," she said, her voice steady but urgent. "We face a threat. A rogue faction of Zalorian warriors has broken protocol. They plan to attack Earth's first colony on your world, believing humans are weak. They act without my sanction, and I fear their actions may start a war." Alex felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. This was more than diplomacy. This was a test of human ingenuity, courage, and calm under pressure. "Your Majesty, I understand. We must act quickly, but we can find a way to protect the colony without violence if possible." Zyra's eyes narrowed. "You think an unarmed colony can survive against trained Zalorian warriors? Explain yourself." Omnode." Alex took a deep breath. "It will not be easy. But humans often solve problems when rules and resources are limited. If we combine your technology with our strategy, we can create defenses that the rogue faction will not expect. We can turn their strengths into weaknesses." The Queen studied him for a long moment. Her lips, usually tight and unreadable, curved slightly. "Your confidence is unusual. Very well. Tell me your plan." Alex outlined his strategy carefully. Using a combination of human tactics and Zalorian technology, he proposed a multi-layered defense. The idea was to anticipate the rogue faction's movements, use energy shields to protect key areas, and employ diversions to mislead their forces. It was risky, some would call it reckless, but it relied on creativity, adaptability, and the very qualities humans excelled at. Zyra listened intently. Her advisors whispered among themselves, some skeptical, others intrigued. Finally, she spoke. This plan requires coordination, speed, and trust between our forces and yours. Are you certain your species can act under such pressure? Alex nodded firmly. Your Majesty. Humans adapt quickly. We can act as one, even under uncertainty. Trust me. We will protect the colony. Time was critical. The Odyssey was quickly outfitted as a command center. Alex coordinated with Zalorian generals, explaining his strategy in detail. Initially, some were hesitant, skeptical of a human's ability to command their technology. Yet Alex's calm, precise instructions and confidence won them over. Slowly, the group began to see the wisdom in his approach. The rogue faction approached, their ships moving swiftly toward the colony. Alex's team was ready. Energy shields rose around key locations, drones monitored the skies, and carefully planned diversions drew the enemy into traps. The first engagement tested Alex's predictions. Zalorian ships advanced aggressively, expecting the humans to panic. Instead, the Earthling-led team adapted instantly. Using rapid improvisation, they adjusted shield placements and coordinated movements between human and Zalorian forces. The rogue faction found themselves confused and unable to predict the defenders' actions. Queen Zyra observed quietly from the palace, analyzing the unfolding battle with her advisors. She had seen many conflicts, but the cooperation between humans and Zalorians in this situation was extraordinary. Alex's calm decisiveness and creative solutions impressed her beyond measure. Hours passed. The rogue faction, unable to overcome the combined defenses and clever strategies, retreated. The colony was safe, and not a single civilian was harmed. Zyra's eyes glowed faintly with approval. You have done something remarkable, Commander Mercer, she said when the crisis ended. Your species demonstrates qualities I have rarely observed: courage, intelligence, and a capacity for rapid problem-solving. You have not only saved lives, but also proved that humans can be more than what others expect. Alex allowed himself a small smile. Thank you, Your Majesty. The success belongs to both our forces. Humans cannot succeed alone without allies, and your people's technology and discipline were essential. Zyra leaned forward slightly, a gesture that had become more frequent. Indeed. It is unusual for me to place trust in one so young. Yet your actions warrant it. Humans. You inspire confidence when others doubt you. I did not expect this. Perhaps your species has potential beyond what I imagined. This event changed the atmosphere within the palace. Advisors and generals now looked at Alex with respect, treating him as a strategist rather than just an ambassador. He had earned their trust. Not through rank or authority, but through action, intelligence, and courage. Over the next days, Alex continued to work closely with the Queen and her advisors. They conducted training exercises, sharing strategies, and learning from each other. Zyra observed him frequently, asking questions, analyzing human methods, and occasionally testing his decisions. Each time, Alex met the challenge, demonstrating both ingenuity and humility. It was during one of these exercises that Alex made another impression. A complex energy grid was used to simulate defensive scenarios. Midway through, an unexpected anomaly appeared, a surge that could have caused the system to fail. Without hesitation, Alex adjusted the parameters, rerouted energy, and stabilized the system in minutes. Zyra's eyes widened slightly. You act with decisiveness I rarely witness. Most species would hesitate or panic. You adapt. Alex smiled politely. Your Majesty, humans learn quickly from mistakes. We may not always succeed at first, but we do not give up. Adaptation is part of who we are. The Queen's lips curved into a more visible smile, genuine and unguarded. It seems I underestimated your species. Perhaps humans can teach even me something. That evening, Zyra invited Alex to a private audience. The palace corridors were quiet, and the violet sky cast a soft glow through the windows. The Queen seated herself comfortably, her usual formality softened by the events of the past days. "Commander Mercer," she began, "you have proven your courage and intellect. You have acted decisively when others would hesitate. And yet, I find myself curious about your people. Humans are strange, noisy, and unpredictable. And yet, in the face of danger, you inspire trust. Why is this?" Alex thought carefully. "Your Majesty, humans have survived because we value each other and work together. We can be stubborn and reckless, but we also care. We think, and we adapt. Sometimes, that combination creates solutions others cannot see. Perhaps that is why you find us intriguing." Zyra's eyes glimmered faintly. "Perhaps you have shown me that my expectations were limited. I had believed humans would rely on caution or fear, yet you show boldness, intelligence, and honesty. I feel trust in a way I have never felt before." Alex bowed slightly. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I hope to continue earning that trust, and to show that humans are capable of much more than what meets the eye." For the first time, Zyra leaned forward, a gesture that spoke of genuine interest rather than formality. "Perhaps your species is worth closer study. Perhaps your kind has potential I did not expect. You have made an impression that will not be forgotten." Alex allowed himself a quiet, satisfied smile. He had not only saved lives and averted war, but had also earned the Queen's respect, something he never imagined possible in just a few days. As he left the audience, Lissar walked beside him, a faint smile on his face. "Commander Mercer, you continue to surprise me. You have achieved what few have even dared to attempt. The Queen, she speaks of you with admiration. Rarely does that happen in her lifetime." Alex nodded. "I am just a human, Lissar. But perhaps humans can achieve more when we are trusted and given a chance." The stars over Zaloria shimmered, reflecting the soft glow of the planet below. The crisis had passed, but the bond between human and Queen had only grown stronger. Alex knew that the future held challenges, but he also knew that humans could rise to meet them. And somewhere in the palace, Queen Zyra reflected on the events of the past days. The human ambassador had done more than speak politely. He had acted, adapted, and inspired. She had never smiled so freely before. Yet now, she found herself doing so often. Humanity had begun to leave its mark on her heart, and she could not help but wonder what else they were capable of achieving. The ice had fully begun to crack. Trust had been earned, not through words alone, but through courage, creativity, and action. The spark that Alex had ignited in the Queen's mind and heart was ready to grow. The universe was vast, full of unknowns. But for the first time, a human and an alien queen stood together with a shared understanding. And that understanding could change everything. The morning sky over Zaloria was calm, yet anticipation hung in the air like an electric current. Commander Alex Mercer stood on the balcony of the palace, looking out over the city. Towering structures glimmered in soft violet and silver light, and the citizens below moved with purpose and precision. Despite their order, Alex noticed the curiosity in their eyes. Zalorians were watching him as much as he was watching them. Inside the palace, Queen Zyra prepared for an unprecedented event. Today, she would officially form a new alliance with Earth, marking a historic moment between the two worlds. For centuries, Zaloria had been cautious with other species, and trust had rarely been extended beyond their own. Yet the events of recent days had changed everything. Alex was escorted to the throne room. Lysar followed, a small smile on his face. "Commander Mercer, today may be remembered for centuries. Few have achieved what you have in so little time." Alex nodded, feeling both pride and responsibility. "Thank you, Lysar. But it is not just me. Humans have potential. Yes, but it is the opportunity to work with others that makes achievement possible. The throne room was filled with Zalorian dignitaries, advisors, and military leaders. Every eye was on the human ambassador and the queen. The air was tense, yet hopeful. The room had been prepared meticulously, with displays of both Zalorian and human culture arranged to signify equality and mutual respect. Queen Zyra sat in her crystal throne, her posture regal as ever. Yet there was something different in her eyes, softness, curiosity, and a trace of warmth. She had smiled many times over the past days, but today, her expression would mark a turning point. "Commander Mercer," Zyra began, her voice echoing clearly, "you have proven that your species is capable of courage, creativity, and sincerity. You have shown that humans can act decisively, adapt quickly, and earn the trust of even the most cautious of observers. For this, you have my respect and my confidence." Alex bowed slightly. "Your Majesty, it is an honor to serve as a representative of humanity. Our actions have been guided by a desire to protect, to learn, and to show that humans are capable of more than conflict. I hope this can be the beginning of a lasting understanding between our worlds." The Queen's lips curved into a full, genuine smile, a sight that sent murmurs through the room. Zalorian courtiers exchanged astonished glances. Never had they seen their queen display such openness. "Then let it be known," Zyra continued, "that Zaloria and Earth shall enter into an alliance, built on trust, mutual respect, and collaboration. This alliance will ensure the safety, prosperity, and learning of both species. Together, we will face challenges, explore the universe, and grow stronger." Alex felt a surge of emotion. Years of diplomacy, courage, and patience had led to this moment. He had not only survived the scrutiny of the most formidable alien leader in the galaxy, but he had also inspired her trust. This alliance was more than a political achievement, it was proof that humans could rise to extraordinary challenges. A ceremony followed, simple yet meaningful. Energy fields formed symbolic links between human and Zalorian representatives. Alex and Zyra shook hands, or, in Zalorian terms, a respectful gesture of clasping palms with subtle pressure. The Queen's smile was radiant, reflecting admiration not just for Alex, but for humanity as a whole. "Commander Mercer," Zyra said quietly, once the ceremony concluded, "you have shown me what humans can achieve when they are trusted and given the chance. You have inspired not only me, but also my people. This alliance will endure because of what you have done." Alex nodded humbly. "Your Majesty, it is an honor. Humans will strive to honor the trust you have placed in us. We will continue to learn, adapt, and contribute to this alliance." In the following days, Alex and Zyra worked together to establish the framework for the new partnership. Human scientists and engineers collaborated with Zalorian experts, exchanging knowledge in fields ranging from energy systems to interstellar navigation. The blending of cultures was remarkable. Humans brought creativity and unconventional thinking, while Zalorians offered discipline, advanced technology, and experience. Every interaction strengthened the bond. Alex often found the Queen observing quietly, her expressions shifting between curiosity, amusement, and admiration. She began asking questions about human customs, technology, and even humor. Alex answered patiently, sometimes using lighthearted examples to make complex ideas easier to understand. During one meeting, a technical challenge arose. A new energy transfer system was behaving unpredictably. Zalorian engineers were puzzled, but Alex suggested a solution based on a principle humans often used: improvisation under uncertainty. He explained step by step, guiding both humans and Zalorians to implement the adjustment. The system stabilized immediately. Zyra's eyes lit with approval, and her lips curved into another warm smile. "Remarkable," she said. Your species does not always follow rules, yet your intuition leads to success. Perhaps humans have lessons for us, as we have lessons for them. The partnership soon extended beyond science and technology. Cultural exchanges were planned, including art, music, and storytelling. Humans marveled at Zalorian architecture and energy art, while Zalorians were fascinated by Earth's literature and music. The alliance was no longer just political, it had become personal, a celebration of mutual respect and curiosity. Alex often reflected on how far humanity had come. When he first arrived on Zaloria, he had been anxious, unsure if he could survive the scrutiny of an alien queen. Now, he stood at the center of history, witnessing a new era unfold. Zyra, too, reflected. For the first time in her life, she allowed herself to fully trust another species. She had learned that courage, honesty, and creativity were universal qualities that transcended worlds. The human ambassador had not only impressed her, but had inspired her to see her own people in a new light. Weeks later, a joint mission was launched to explore a nearby uninhabited planet. Humans and Zalorians worked side by side, mapping the terrain, studying resources, and learning from each other's methods. Alex led the team with confidence, supported by Zyra's guidance. Their success further cemented the alliance, proving that cooperation between species could achieve remarkable results. One evening, after a long day of exploration, Alex and Zyra stood on a plateau overlooking the alien landscape. The sky shimmered in hues of violet and gold, and distant stars twinkled like scattered jewels. "Commander Mercer," Zyra said softly, "you have changed my perspective in ways I did not expect. Your species has shown courage, creativity, and a certain warmth. I never believed I would smile so freely, yet here I am." Alex smiled in return. "Your Majesty, it has been an honor to earn that smile. Humans often learn from those who inspire them, just as they hope to inspire in return. I think we have both learned something valuable." Zyra's eyes reflected the starlight. "Indeed. Perhaps this is the beginning of a new era, not only for humans and Zalorians, but for the galaxy itself. Trust, collaboration, and understanding may become more powerful than weapons or control." Alex nodded. "I believe so, Your Majesty. And humanity is ready to prove it, step by step, together with your people." The Queen finally extended her hand, a gesture of both respect and partnership. "Then let this hand signify trust, friendship, and the promise of the future. May our species grow together, learn together, and face the unknown together." Alex grasped her hand firmly. "It will be an honor, Your Majesty." As they stood together, looking out over the alien landscape, both human and alien felt a sense of hope. The universe was vast and filled with challenges, but with courage, intelligence, and trust, they were ready to face it together. Back on Zaloria, the citizens watched the alliance take shape. Human engineers worked alongside Zalorian experts, exchanging knowledge and solving problems together. Scientists discovered new ways to harness energy, explore distant planets, and advance technology. Cultural exchanges blossomed, and both species learned to appreciate each other's strengths and quirks. Commander Mercer had not only survived the scrutiny of a powerful alien queen, but had earned her trust, respect, and friendship. Humanity had proven itself capable of inspiring even the most formidable beings in the galaxy. Queen Zyra, for the first time in her long life, smiled freely and often. She had learned that strength was not only in power and knowledge, but also in courage, sincerity, and the willingness to see potential in others. Humanity had sparked something new in her, a hope for the future and a bond that could endure across the stars. The first steps of a new alliance had been taken, and both species understood that the path ahead would be challenging. Yet for the first time, humans and Zalorians faced the future together, confident that cooperation, trust, and ingenuity could overcome any obstacle. As Alex looked at the stars above Zeloria, he felt a quiet pride. Humanity had reached a distant world, faced uncertainty, and proven that courage, creativity, and honesty could inspire even the most powerful beings. And somewhere within the palace, Queen Zyra reflected on the past days with a rare sense of wonder. Humanity had not only survived their scrutiny, but had impressed, inspired, and changed her perspective. A new era had begun, one in which humans were no longer just visitors in the galaxy, but equals, collaborators, and friends. The universe was vast, full of unknown wonders and challenges, but together, human and Zalorian, they were ready to face it. And for the first time ever, the alien queen's smile was a sign of hope, trust, and a future filled with possibility.